15 years. I gave Nexora Therapeutics 15 years of my life. I missed holidays, birthdays, even my father's funeral, all for the promise of innovation and recognition. I was Claudia Benson, lead researcher on Neurovance XR, a neurological breakthrough the company was about to launch. I believed in the work. I believed in loyalty. Until Caleb Vance arrived. He was the new CEO. Young, sharp-suited, and full of buzzwords. Caleb didn't know the science. He knew stockholders and quarterly goals. Within 3 weeks, I was summoned to a glass-walled conference room, surrounded by executives who wouldn't look me in the eye. "We appreciate your contributions," Caleb said with a cold smile. "But Nexora is moving in a different direction. Your division is being restructured." That was their sanitized way of saying I was being pushed out. No severance, no credit, and no future. I walked out holding a cardboard box filled with my belongings, but I held something else too, a quiet fury and a single document no one had asked about. You see, 6 years earlier, I had grown wary of Nexora's internal politics. On a hunch, I filed the provisional patent for Neurovance XR under my name. Just a placeholder, I told myself. In the rush of trials and data analysis, no one at Nexora ever noticed. After I left, I made that provisional patent official. My name, my address, my research, their blockbuster drug. At first, I didn't hear from them. They assumed they still held control. But the FDA announcement came out 2 weeks later. Patent owner Dr. Claudia Benson. That changed everything. Nexora's legal team reached out within hours. Caleb sent me an email titled "Urgent." I didn't reply. I needed them to feel the sting. I needed them to understand. Howard Jameson, a senior board member, called me personally. "Claudia, I'm sorry it came to this. The board wants to know if there's a path forward." "That depends," I said, "because the path I'm on doesn't include being underestimated again." He was quiet then. "Caleb's position is precarious." I told him what it would take: board representation, equity, and leadership of an autonomous research division. 5 years of guaranteed funding. Total independence. He whistled softly. "You're not asking for small things." "Neurovance XR isn't a small drug," I replied. Word leaked. Nexora's stock plummeted. Headlines screamed, "Patent blunder." Costs Nexora billions. Caleb was escorted from the building the next day. My former team flooded my inbox with support. "You were right to walk," James, my top researcher, told me. "We're all rooting for you." Other pharmaceutical companies came knocking. Verdant offered me the position of chief scientific officer. Total autonomy, respect, but I waited. Then Eleanor Fitzgerald, the new board chair, requested a formal meeting. "We'd like to resolve this respectfully," she said. My attorney Victoria and I prepared. Every detail. Every clause. We walked into that same Nexora boardroom, but this time I owned the room. Their offer was generous. Reinstatement as EVP of R&D, board seat, signing bonus, equity. In exchange, I'd transfer the patent. "This shows you now understand my value," I said. "But I need protection from leadership changes." 3 hours of negotiation later, we had a deal. I returned with power, purpose, and protections. The patent would go to Nexora, but I would receive royalties. Howard stopped me on the way out. "You outplayed us all," he said. "I didn't want to play at all," I replied. "You forced my hand." I walked back into the research division Monday morning. The same halls, the same labs, but everything had changed. My team cheered. James handed me a mug. "The Queen returns." I laughed. Not a queen, just a scientist who finally learned her worth. The following months were a whirlwind. Neurovance XR received FDA approval. Nexora held a lavish launch party. I gave a brief speech. Then Howard took the stage. "Neurovance XR would not exist without Dr. Claudia Benson," he said, "and neither would Nexora's future." I didn't expect what came next. "The board has unanimously voted to establish the Benson Neuroscience Institute," Howard announced. The applause was deafening. I blinked. This hadn't been discussed. A decade of funding, total autonomy, and Dr. Benson as director. The institute would be headquartered in a new glass and light facility. 40 researchers. Global attention. The industry was watching. Caleb Vance stood in the back of the room. Smaller now. Not angry, just irrelevant. He looked away. I felt no revenge, only relief. Eleanor toured the new institute with me on opening day. You built something remarkable, she said. We built it, I corrected. But it took losing everything first. She nodded. The board learned. Value is in people, not just profits. And I now held enough Nexora stock to enforce that. Other companies followed suit. Scientists gained board seats, recognition, respect. Caleb tried to rebrand himself. Victim of politics, misunderstood leader. No one bought it. He quietly left the industry. James told me he was last seen consulting for a startup, nothing notable. He had wanted control, but forgot the most important rule. Never underestimate the scientist who built the future. My name became synonymous with empowerment in pharma. Students wrote me letters. Scientists emailed from all over the world, and I replied to everyone. Because what happened to me wasn't just my story. It was the story of countless researchers who quietly carried the weight while others cashed the checks. I didn't burn Nexora to the ground. I rebuilt it, but this time it was mine.